Alrighty, guys. May 8th, 2023. Yeah, I'm, I don't know if I'm sick. Part of me doesn't care because I feel kind of like emotionally fine. Um, I don't know what's up. Uh, Yesterday I started feeling a little bit ill. I had a little bit of, um, intestinal issues slightly Sunday. When I first woke up, I noticed that, and it actually started happening Saturday night after dinner. So there probably was more to it. Um, I'm guessing maybe I ate something, maybe it was something that I had for dinner, but I also feel like it's weird that my sinuses and throat are a little bit, like I had like a weird coughing spell late at night last night. I don't really know why. Maybe from vaping, maybe not though. Like I don't feel like vaping would, you know, um yeah, I don't feel like vaping would make things uh I don't know. Like I vape enough that I feel like it shouldn't be an issue, if that makes sense. Um uh but I don't know. Like I really don't know. Um I just have this weird dry cough and some sinusy issues. But I started actually having those weird sinus issues the other day when I mentioned having them. So maybe all this stuff is related. I can't really tell. I had a weird headache and some kind of I couldn't sleep very good last night at all. And it wasn't because of the headache. I just was very energetic. I took like 4 melatonin gummies. It's like that's probably like about 12 milligrams. I rarely go over 9 or 10, and usually 3 to 5 helps just fine. And I didn't have any caffeine. So I'm not sure why I had so much energy, but it's maybe because I took a late afternoon nap. I mean, I feel like it wasn't that solid of a nap. Like, I think I only napped for like 30, 40 minutes. I don't think that would keep me up past 4 a.m., but yeah, I don't know. I'm texting my aunt. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Um, because usually when I have like some kind of sick feelings, I'm kind of more fatigued too. But I'm more like energetic but sick, if that makes sense. And not even like normal sick. It's just like throat, a little bit of intestinal kind of left. But I think I kind of backed myself up a little bit because I took some Pepto yesterday. So that kind of messed me up today a little bit, I think. And my appetite's been a little off. So I haven't eaten everything I wanted to eat. Um, but decided today, I'm like, okay, at the end of the evening, I'll come sit outside, just chill in the car. I am not sure why my car is so dusty. I think one of my folks did it. Um, the other car isn't dusty. I don't know why mine's dusty. The other car's windows are open. Somebody moved it. but the windshield isn't dusty. I thought maybe it was windy, and it's a little windy, but it looks like it's not that windy. Like, we don't have any dirt up near us. The flower bed in the front now has these like dark colored wood chips, and then there's a little bit of dirt on the side, but there's also mostly wood chips too, and the dirt is to the back of the car, and the back of the car isn't dusty. It almost looks like somebody took like a cup of dirt or something and just kind of sprinkled it on the hood and sprinkled it on the tops of the windshield wipers, and there was a little bit of splatter because there's little dirt splatters, like little, you know how there's like water mixed in, so it looks like there was a little dirt splatter and like water mixed in. It wasn't like that I don't know if that was on Sunday that happened, but it wasn't like that on Saturday, because that's the day I got the car towed back. It wasn't like that. So something happened either today or yesterday that led to this, but I don't really know. I didn't pay for a car wash because we had rain and it did a good enough job. And now that the car is not really properly running fully, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it washed. I'm probably not gonna get it washed till I check things out a little bit better. It could have come from the roof. That's what I'm thinking, because we had roof work done. I don't think I saw anybody come, but Sunday it's possible maybe the guy who works on the house, maybe he came by, maybe he was up on the roof again and I just didn't hear it. I think that wouldn't be possible, but maybe he was just walking a little bit, because he's not too loud up there. So maybe he was just up there and lightly, maybe he was sweeping on the roof or something, I don't know, and then swept it all into my car. I don't really know. But yeah, I've never seen this. It looks like when the Santa Anas come and then the car gets all dusty, but it's only on the front of the car and it's not on the other car at all. So, I mean, we park like 5-6 feet apart, so I don't really know. But this area where I am parked, we do actually tend to have a lot of issues when it rains, when I think of it, because the roof has been in such a crappy condition, needing repairs for so long. When it's been rainy and windy, I've noticed there's been like little gravelly, little grainy pieces all over near where I park. And because my car is parked there most of the time, there's just like this clean area where the car was covering, and then this area around it where there's just like pieces of debris and stuff. And so I don't really know what the heck that's all about, but it's there. And so yeah, I don't really know, but yeah. But maybe I just wasn't feeling well because, Friday I didn't sleep good, Saturday I didn't sleep good, and then Sunday I also didn't sleep good. But I was already feeling kind of ill by Sunday morning, and surprised that Saturday evening when I went to the gym, I was a little bit surprised that my energy wasn't like too pumped, especially people are texting me. Yeah, I'm kind of like, not too sure. Like, I'm just, don't know. There's always kind of a lot going on, but I'm not too sure like what is up. Um, I'm gonna study again tonight though. I'm just taking this little break. I took it easy today, kind of, kind of. I applied for a job at a tech company, but it's not necessarily the job that I'm trying to get. But I feel like it's an easy application. I was like, let me just send it in because I wouldn't mind doing that remote work. And the pay would have been decent if I, for remote work, for something that I don't plan on doing forever. It would have been, I think the pay rate's like 55K to 77K or something like that, which is already more than what I was making. And this doesn't seem too much of an issue, compared to my other job. So I just put it out there because I was like, well, I would love to work in another branch of that company, and I know they're hiring for some low level to entry positions for remote jobs right now. So I was like, well, might as well just apply to this one now because it's a major tech company. It's not Zoom, but it would be similar to like something like as popular as Zoom. So I'm like, well, I would apply there anyways for another position, so I wouldn't mind, once I finish this class and get this certificate, like I wouldn't mind actually applying there. So I basically was like, well, if I got in on the ground floor a little bit, that might up my chances of actually working for them. I don't really know like too specific which companies I'm trying to like aim at. Like I kind of know what I don't want an environment to look like, and I kind of know what I don't want to do. But I don't know specifically which actual companies. Like I feel like I could kind of go with any of the companies. Honestly, it's going to be more like which pays best, which hours are best, which culture kind of suits me best. And which company is kind of like ideal to move up in. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm looking at. I don't really want to talk about it like way too much right now, but it's kind of in the back of my mind. So yeah, I did that application. I started that around 10 a.m. and then from about 11:30 on, a little after 11 I took a break. Then about 11:30 on, I basically I don't know, from like 11:30 on, what did I do? Oh yeah, I was learning about some metrics with like Facebook ads and all the stuff about like CPMs and all this other kind of stuff. I was learning about the metrics and how inaccurate they seem for like Shopify stores. And then I was just kind of learning about them a little bit, and then learning about, I put my store back up, and then I was learning a little bit about TikTok ads and found someone to work on an ad for me that hopefully will be done by tomorrow, and then I'll be posting that tomorrow on TikTok and see if I can make some sales this week. I was kind of budgeting and seeing like what I have coming in from other angles, which is going to be used for ad spending, that kind of stuff, marketing. So I did that till like about 3-ish. Had a snack, knocked out till like almost 5 or so, and then just kind of left my evening like that. So it's been nice, like I mean, it sucks to be like a little ill, but I mean, at least my mood is good, and at least I'm not like all symptomatic all the time. It might just be I'm straining myself, stressing too much, but I don't know. Like I feel like if I can't handle that amount of stress, like I don't feel like I did that much, you know what I mean? Like I went to the gym a couple times and stayed up late a couple nights, you know? Like it really is that what's going to do me in, you know? So I don't really know. Like it might be something else. But it's not like a regular cold or flu, so I really just don't know what the heck, you know? And I got sick in April. This is not that. Like, in April when I got sick, that was clearly like cold and flu sick. This is not the same. But I did kind of have like that headache again, which isn't normal for me. But that has been occurring this year a little bit. Um, and I did, you know, like I mentioned, I had like that kind of a bit of tooth issue when I had that carbonated beverage not too long ago. It was like a THC like edible beverage kind of thing, technically like an edible, but in a soda form. And that kind of really got my teeth kind of like sore. Like I was having some inflammation for like quite a few days that I feel like only went away like fully. I don't feel it today. I can't remember if I felt it yesterday, but Friday, Saturday, it was still kind of lingering like a little mild bit. And so that was like at least a week that I was dealing with that. So maybe it was that, like maybe it was some kind of tooth infection kind of thing. Like, I don't really know. I really don't know. Like, I'm not doing that much. So it's kind of hard to be like, okay, like, did I contract something? Because I haven't been out. Like, other than the gym or the beach. And I don't really go to the beach with anybody. Like, I go to the coffee shop. I go to, I'll go like in stores and stuff. And I don't feel like this is like a common cold. So I don't really know what it is. But yeah, if I pay attention to my body, I definitely have like a sore throat, raspy, scratchy throat, a little bit of a cough. Um, it's not uncommon for me, like if I snack or eat and then lay down to kind of be coughing. And the same with maybe like drinking water sometimes too, just depending. But sometimes that happens when I drink water too. Um, like I kind of was reading about it a long time ago because I noticed because I used to eat like right before I would go to bed, like way back, before I knew not to do that. And it's something related to that. Like it can be like a little irritation, laying down. Um, but yeah, I don't really know. Like I'm thrown off. Definitely thrown off. Maybe I just threw myself off too much, but I don't know. I got the email about the Sick New World Festival coming up this weekend in Vegas, and so I'm gonna be happy that it's gonna be. I'll fly out Friday, fly back in Monday. Unfortunately, I'm missing a close friend's birthday on Sunday. In San Diego. I wasn't going to be in San Diego anyways, but I'm also missing Mother's Day on Sunday. So, I don't really know. I talked to my mom though. I was like, do you want to do something Thursday? She's like, she doesn't even want to do anything. So, I mean, I know it's what she says, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I kind of want to. I got her something, kind of. So, from Christmas, we didn't really get gifts, but I kind of just like to get stuff. I was like, I'll get gifts in case it comes up that we're giving gifts or something. And if not, I'll just save it for another time because we don't really do gifts every year. Some years we do, some years we don't. And we decided this year we weren't, but I wasn't like 100% sure because nobody was really communicating too good. And I didn't even know who was going to be in town or if we were going to be in town. Like there was some plan of me and my mom going to Vegas before we even knew if anybody else was going to be here. And then it turned out that, my sister, her boyfriend, my brother were all coming to town. So, of course, we weren't going to leave. So, yeah. I'm going to be drinking my water, guys. So, excuse me. But, yeah, we went out Um, I mean, we didn't go out like Christmas. We stayed in and, just chilled, watched a bunch of sports. There was a lot of good basketball on. We watched tons of basketball. Um, it was like a rainy time a little bit. Um, and my dad was in Africa, and we basically just had Christmas just without him, like the few of us. He was doing his own thing over there with the other family, and we just basically did that. So I did have some leftover gifts from then. I still have the souvenirs from when I went snowboarding during the Rona, like in 2021 or whenever that was. I think it was 2021 when I went snowboarding in New Mexico and Taos. I got some souvenirs for my sister, her boyfriend, and for my brother that I never gave to them. So, whatever year we give gifts, that's gonna be their gift, from like a couple years back. And then for my mom, I have some kind of like African print fabrics because she does a lot of like crafting, knitting, sewing, that kind of thing. So I figure she could probably use that. And then just like a candle, it's like an aroma therapy soy candle. I feel like that's a decent gift, and I'll get a card. Um, it's stuff that she'll use. It's like practical, but looks nice, so I feel like she'll kind of use it. Um, but that's what I'll give her pretty much. Um, we're kind of like a practical gift giving family. So like I'm likely not gonna give you stuff that you're not gonna use, or that you can't develop into like a project or something. Like if I give my dad stuff, he doesn't really like gifts, but if I do give him stuff, it's usually something related to like some accessories or tools for the garden, or like if he's not gonna be at the house, then maybe some other kind of you know something to keep warm when he's in a cold area or something like that. Um, I think, was it Father's Day or his birthday? I think I got him like one of those like portable back massager things. Like we're not really like into gifts. Like it's not really. We all have our own money. We all work. It's like we kind of rather just eat meals and watch sports. Like that's kind of more what we'd rather do. Like I don't know. My folks don't really seem to want to go out to eat meals anymore like they used to. I don't know what's up with them. I don't know if they're just trying to conserve money or if they really just don't like going out anymore. But like my dad goes to church like once a week, and then other than that, these guys never leave the house. Um, but they're home, like they're in the yard all day long, but they never really leave. Uh, and until I was having little car issues, like I was leaving every day, but you know, they never really leave. They don't go anywhere. So I don't really know what to say about that. Like they don't like go out and like have fun and like do stuff. They just like stay home with each other, which is fine, but it's like I don't really get it. And I know that before they were a lot more like interactive, but also they're older and it's like I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Um, but yeah, my dad's been around for like a month. We're going on month 2 now. I don't know how long he's gonna be here. He never said. I never asked. I'm just like whatever. But I don't really see him that much. He's not usually around at all. Like, like literally not at all. Like he doesn't even work in the States. So, and then since the Rona, he's hardly traveled. I think I last saw him. Like I saw him Father's Day of 2022, and so that's what in June. And then I saw him around my mom's birthday, or my mom's birthday's in September, his birthday's in October. And I remember shipping him a birthday gift, so I didn't see him October. So I must have seen him near September, and then I think he was here near November for for Thanksgiving. So I saw him Thanksgiving. So I've seen him a few times, like between last year and this year. But since like 2003, 2003, 2000, maybe about 2003. Since about 2003, he started working out like contract jobs out of state. So he's been almost 20 years not even living really solidly living in this house. And so, you know, I've gotten accustomed to just not really incorporating him into my life too much, in all honesty. Like when he's not in town, we pretty much don't communicate. And even when we try, when I've tried, because we have like a group text, family text kind of thing, and then like on WhatsApp and stuff too. Like I've tried to reach out to him a couple times, but I feel like up until this December, he's never really made too much of an effort. Like I feel like all the other years before, he was just kind of doing whatever he was doing. And then during the Rona, maybe he kind of thought about it more. I don't really know, but it seems like he started being a little bit more interactive, but it was more so like on his terms. Like if he needs something, he'll reach out, but otherwise he doesn't respond to texts. He doesn't respond to emails. He started some kind of classes, and then when he started needing some help with some of that, that's when he started reaching out. I hadn't really heard from him too much before that, and even when he was out of town, I would always be like, hey, send me a picture, send me some videos, whatever. Never does. So I just kind of assume, I'm like, all right, you like your space, whatever. So I'm just kind of not really, in all honesty, I don't really do the whole one-sided thing. Like if somebody's, you know, I'm kind of like that when people text me too. It's like, you know, I've got some people in my life that kind of just like, they'll just be text bombing me, and I'm just like, cool. Like they're just like on one, you know, and just like texting about like God only knows what, you know. And I can kind of tell what kind of rant they're going on. They kind of always go on a rant about like authoritarian people and all this other kind of stuff, and I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like I feel like they're just venting, talking about themselves or something. Like not that it's bad, but it's like these vague, like kind of esoteric topics, but it's kind of like this negative tone of like frustration with society and stuff. And I'm kind of like, cool, but I don't know. Like I'm not always the most supportive person. Sometimes I'm just kind of like, I'm just like, I'll read it when I feel like reading it, but usually I'm not going to go back and forth about that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of like, I'd rather spend my energy doing other things. Like, I'll probably get back to them like 5, 6, 7 days later and read it and actually sit and read like the mass amount of like 20, 30 messages that they might send me over like a 5-day period of time, and I might sit there and read it and maybe respond a little bit or just not even really respond at all. Like usually if somebody sends me music or videos or pictures, I'll usually watch them or look at them or heart them or whatever. But usually when it comes to like topics, if I'm kind of not wanting to engage, I just kind of don't. Like I don't feel bad about it. I'm like, whatever, it's my energy. I feel like I have the right to spend my energy however I want to. They're safe, they're sound, you know, this person's safe, they're sound, they're independent, you know, they're employed, they have income, and, you know, they have their health enough that I feel like I shouldn't have to feel obligated to like jump in and like save them from themselves or to, you know, give my energy to it, if that makes sense. And I hope I don't sound like an asshole, but it's like, dude, I had clients for like years, and I'm kind of like, that's kind of how it feels. It's like sometimes people are just like trying to pull compassion and I get it. I mean, it's fine. I get it. Like, but if I'm not in the mood to do that, to engage like that, then I won't. You know, like I have other friends that we constantly send memes back and forth, and we're kind of like constantly like in a group text between the two of us on Instagram, like in the DMs we're like a group DM kind of thing, and that's kind of fun. I like that because it's more lighthearted, fun, jokes and stuff. And then there's somebody else. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm not like bitter about it. I understand kind of like, people want to communicate, people want to engage, and I appreciate that because I like to be involved with my friends and with others, and I don't want to like totally ignore people, but I don't fully engage either, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people too, like if it's just by text, it's different than like if we actually hang out for coffee or go to the beach or like see each other in person or even talking on the phone. That's a little different for me. Like I'll make time for those types of more quality situations where I'm just like, I feel like we're actually kind of like there's some kind of bonding going on there or some kind of communication and just like catching up and stuff versus like the mass texting thing. Like it's kind of not really, unless I'm like actively talking to somebody about something, like it's hard for me to do the whole texting back and forth thing, and unless it's either jokes or we're just actually talking about something. But I'll be all caffeinated texting people too. It's not like I don't do it either, but I don't expect people to read my messages either. I'm just like, sometimes I'm just like really caffeinated, really distracted. Like I just want to tell this person all this stuff. Like I don't even know like what they've got going on or what they're, I'm not checking in with them. I'm just like, yo, I watched this thing. It was really interesting, and this and this and this and this and that. And it's like they could probably care less. And if whatever, if they care less, they care less. Like I don't really get too upset about it, but I don't really get upset about it at all. Like if I actually need somebody, I will say something or I will try to actually reach them. But I don't consider texting, to be like a formal type of thing that I really have to engage with, if that makes sense. It's pretty informal, in my opinion. And I definitely have a habit of overdoing it too, but it's like, when I'm busy, I'm not, well, yeah, when I'm busy, I can use it as a distraction, but when I'm busy, I kind of try to just also not really, make like a big deal out of things. But I don't really know. I'm not having a bad day. I'm having a good day. I was pretty productive. The other stuff, I have some gigs set up that I was going to do by phone today that I didn't do because I feel like my voice is raspy, and I also feel like I just didn't want to do it. And I was like, I did this other stuff. I didn't think I'd even do as much as I did today on the other stuff. And this other phone call gig stuff isn't even like a priority necessarily. I have until the 10th to get it done, and I'm probably going to take on more, honestly, too. But I wasn't expecting to really deal with it. To really deal with it, like, to really deal with everything. With all this other sickness stuff. I wasn't expecting all that. And the car thing either. So I wasn't expecting any of this. But it's okay. I'm going to focus on this practice exam and studying, and it's just I've been kind of a little out of commission the past day, and then today as well, honestly. Like I'm not in the best state of mind today. But yeah, like I'm gonna try and sleep early and take this stupid test tomorrow. I hope I feel better tomorrow. And I want to get some work done tomorrow too. I gotta do these phone call gigs and some other stuff, some car related stuff. I got some oil for the car. I got this scanner, because I want to see if I can use the scanner and check if it gives me any kind of insight into what might be going on. I mean, it did start. The car did work. It did start, After it had that weird little debacle, I got it, I drove it up onto the tow truck, and it was a flatbed. I drove it up onto the tow truck. I reversed it back off of the tow truck. So I got it started, but it might be an oil thing. I really don't know. I hope it's not like an oil pump thing or something like that. Oil pump or spark plugs. I don't know what it is, honestly. And it wasn't having any like notable issues before this happened. But I don't want to like wear it out and go driving all over the place and then get stalled somewhere again. So at least this time I was only stalled near the house. But when I went from the gym to nearby the house where I was just hanging out outside, the car was doing fine. Like, it was fine. So I don't really know. But it has been a little, funky, but just slightly. And it's like, it's so old anyways. I checked the paperwork last night, this morning, because I was up. Part of it, I woke up around like 3 a.m. and I was like, well, let me just, because it was on my mind. So I was like, anything that's on my mind, I'm just going to dive into it, because like I'm up anyways, like screw this. And so I looked at the registration from the DMV, that info, because it's due June 10th. And so I looked at that info, and I don't have to get it smogged this year, so that's good. Because I'm like, damn, I don't want to pay for all that. So I'm gonna see. I mean, I gotta get this Vegas trip out of the way and stuff. I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of stuff up until Thursday. Like, I was supposed to be studying and focusing on this exam, and then I started focusing on other things, and in the process also getting a little bit ill. And so I don't really know what I'm trying to do. I'm not really focused. Maybe I'm a little bit stressed. It feels, all of this kind of feels more like it's kind of some weird stress sickness. Just because it doesn't follow the sequence of all the normal kind of cold and flu symptoms that I get. And it doesn't really add up too much because I haven't really been doing anything, like interacting with too many people. It might be some weird respiratory thing with all the stuff that's happened with when the food was burning, or when the roof was getting worked on or something. Or maybe it's not related at all. It might just be because I stayed up too late a couple nights and didn't really sleep too good for 2 nights in a row. And then, the car kind of having issues all of a sudden, and then having this trip coming up, and then having these exams and things. And I'm just like, maybe that's it. But in my head, I'm like, I don't know if it's, I mean, that kind of makes more sense, in all honesty. But it's like, I feel like I don't know, I haven't really pushed this hard in a while. So maybe I'm just not used to it. But also, it's like, I don't know. Like, it's really hard to put a finger on it, because, like, I feel like if I was sick, like cold or flu sick, my energy wouldn't be where it is. Usually I'm way more fatigued. And I've had like slight little symptoms that never really ramped up into anything significant. So just having those little bitty symptoms here and there over the course of like multiple days is like really strange. Like, usually, when you get a cold or flu, you get like a little mild bit of something happening, and then there's more, and then there's more, and then it peaks, and then it kind of starts like, decreasing in severity after a certain point. But this wasn't any of that. It was just like little specks of like little bitty like partial symptoms for like parts of the day. I don't know if it's allergies. I don't know. It might be stress. It might be allergies. It might just be because I've been around like, the situation with like some things that could have affected me in a respiratory way. And then maybe I ate something weird. I don't really know. I really don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But But I've definitely been doing a form of resting, even though I haven't really had like a full night's sleep in like 3 days. So I've had naps 3 times, and some sleep because I had a bad dream last night a little bit. So um, it was. I don't. I've talked about that before. I don't usually have bad dreams like at all. And last night was the first. Well, early this morning rather was the first time I had a pretty bad dream. And it was kind of related to someone I know, family member, and then a car and some kind of accident in the car. It was like the part that really stuck out was, well, I mean, there was a part before where I heard like I live in a busy area. So in this dream, like there was like something going on outside and it was night. There was something going on outside where there was like either sirens or like you know how like those maintenance vehicles, some of them have like those lights, or like security vehicles, some of them have those lights. Like I was in the house and I noticed that there was maybe like lights outside somewhere, like out on the street right out in front of our house, and I was like, why are there these like lights? Like what's going on? And so I just peeked out the door. Like we always look out our door because we're nosy and there's always weird stuff going on because we live on a highway. And so, you know, in the dream I looked out and I was like, oh, like it's really nothing. It was like a maintenance vehicle and not like a police officer or like fire truck or something. Like it was a maintenance vehicle, and you know, we had that maintenance vehicle kind of on, like, I mean, that maintenance vehicle was kind of like just the lights and stuff, like orange lights. And then I went out and there was a little bit of commotion, but it wasn't like anger. It was just like a combination of like local, like teens and adults, maybe like 5 or 6 people kind of like interacting. Like it wasn't like late at night. Like the dream wasn't staged like late at night. It was just dark. It was night, but it wasn't like so late. Like I was awake already. In this dream I had been awake. I was just in the house. And then so I come out, look, I noticed, I kind of like just assess the situation. I'm like, oh, it's not really like an accident or like a police situation. No one's getting arrested. And then somewhere a little after that in the dream, while I was outside in the front driveway, just kind of like scoping out the situation, and then my sister comes up. Like my sister doesn't even live here, but she comes up with like 1 or 2 of her friends that are people I maybe should know, but I don't really know them. But she's got like her own life, her own friends in real life, and like I've met some of her friends. Some of them are from high school, some of them are from college and locally where she lives. And like it was someone, I don't know if it was one or both friends were people that I should have known or maybe I had seen before. And then there was someone else I'd never, you know, there was someone else with her. And, you know, me and her were like talking and I was glad to see her. Like she doesn't just drop in like that because she lives far. She lives like pretty far. And so, but yeah, she dropped in and it was good to see her. And we started talking like, oh, we should, I don't know if we were talking about taking a road trip or going to a concert or like going out and like let's go out and do something real quick or whatever. But we were kind of like chatting a little bit, and then we kind of, I think we had plans. And then the next part of the dream, me and another family member go into one of our old cars, and that family member is driving. I'm sitting in the back seat some reason, kind of like Uber style. They're driving. I don't know where we're going. We're not really talking, but something happens to the car and we're kind of not, it's not stable. Like we're driving, but like either they're in an accident or we're moving. I don't know how to describe this. They're either we're having like either the car is breaking down or it's some kind of an accident, if that makes sense. But like we're still in motion. And so like that part starts happening where like I start realizing something's not right with the way we're driving, but the person driving was just kind of like a little nonchalant, aloof about it. They didn't seem like worried or too concerned, but like they knew too. And it wasn't like they were driving recklessly in this dream. Like, it was just, like, it was something equivalent to maybe, like, a tire's falling off, or, like, we just jumped over, like, a tree in the road or something, some stupid, like, these weird parts of dreams where, like, I can't make sense of that. So basically we were moving, and the situation seemed to be getting a little bit worse until a point where we were kind of like, I think we were kind of like airborne. I think we were kind of like airborne, or like skidding or something that seemed like a fluid kind of emotion. But I wasn't, like, the way I knew in the dream, I was like looking around or something, and I was like, okay, we're fine. And in my dream, I was like, okay, we're fine. We're just gonna wait for the car to kind of like come down from whatever this situation is or whatever. And, I remember telling the person in the family that was driving, I was like, hey, we're okay, good, we're gonna be good. And then, suddenly from there, right when I thought we were good, we were not good, and something happened where the car started like going almost like upward, like jolting like upward really, really bad. And I was just like, I just kind of like said that person's name, and then like my head kind of hit the roof of the car or something in this dream. And that's when I woke up, and I was just like, oh shit. like, cause we were like, it had escalated, like, whatever was going on. I don't have any clue, but it seemed like we weren't gonna make it at that point. And so I was like, I woke up from that around like four or something in the morning. So I did sleep a little bit because I had that weird dream. But according to the amount of time that the sound bath recording was on, it was on for like 5.5 hours. So that means I slept less than 5.5 hours, because that thing was on for a while. But I was kind of nodding off, but I just was fighting sleep last night too. So I fought sleep and fought the melatonin enough that I stayed up pretty late. So I don't know, maybe I'm stressed. I have a really hard time telling if I'm stressed. Obviously, like, I'm not very good at like being in tune with that, but it's like when I look at signs like these, I'm like, okay, I don't usually have nightmares. I'm not usually up for like 3 nights in a row. Like, yeah, it made sense the nights that I had the C4 at like 3 p.m. I already knew I was gonna be up, like up, and that was a given. So I was like, okay, like Friday night I did that, I knew what to expect. Saturday I was like, I just need to get to the gym, and I did it again because I was like, this is the only way I'm gonna get to the gym. So, I did that Saturday again. Sunday I felt kind of like, yeah, Sunday was the day that I was feeling kind of ill, but I also didn't sleep that good last night. So, which is kind of weird because it's Monday now, and it's like, okay, but it's Monday evening now, and yeah, my appetite's all over the place. Like all the signs are there that I'm stressed. Especially like having the energy that I have. Like, for me, that's kind of a sign that I'm kind of like a little stressed, but it's kind of like almost euphoric. Not really, not, I wouldn't call it euphoric. Cause I have like physical symptoms, but it's more like headache, throat, kind of feeling like a little raspy, and was a little coughing last night, and some weird little intestinal issues. Like, I would say that's probably more stress, and then having like a dream that wasn't like a good dream, when I can't even remember the last time I had a dream that wasn't good. My dreams are like freaking, like, the weirdest freaking thing. I have weird dreams. I have really strange, odd, just like dreams that I'm like, I can't even describe. Like, they don't even sound like reality in any form. It's almost like if you read like some fantasy story or something, and you're just like if you think of things like Willy Wonka and like stuff like that, that's kind of how my dreams are. Like Alice in Wonderland, Willy Wonka kind of dream, like, was that with the yellow brick road and all, like with Dorothy and the Tin Man, like stuff like that, where it's just like random stuff happening, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, I can't usually make sense of it, and there's like nothing equivalent. Like, I'm not usually stressed, or when stuff is happening around me, like I'm not usually stressed in my dreams. I don't think I've had. It's May, and I don't think I've had any bad dreams this year at all in 2023. If I give it the benefit of the doubt, I'll say maybe I had one other bad dream this year. And this one wasn't even like so terribly bad, but it was bad enough. And just having the weird car theme and family theme and like weird little things like that, where it was kind of like, I'm not usually like worried in my dreams about like, oh, what's going on outside, or what's going on, or is this gonna, like, are we gonna be okay in this situation? Like, usually I'm just like, whatever, there can be situations happening all around me, but I'm usually just assessing it and focused and just kind of like able to kind of talk myself down from being too stressed in it. Like, it could be something like, oh, we're going to a concert, but my ticket doesn't really work, but I'll be like trying to problem solve in my head, like, okay, like I have money, so let me go online while we're in line and just buy another ticket and then see if I can like refund the other one because the event hasn't started yet, or like whatever. Like, I'll be like problem solving and actually like, you know, doing something about things in my dreams. Like, usually it's not like a situation is taking over. Usually I'm just like very invested in the situation, and there's always like solutions. And so I'm usually not worried, even though like, even if it's around me, there's like chaos, or like we're just like, what's going on? I'm usually pretty like level headed in my dreams. And so it's kind of interesting when I do have a bad dream, I do kind of pay attention to it more because it's so rare. Like, I've almost gone like a whole half year without having any bad dreams, but this one, maybe I had another one, so let's say two bad dreams in a almost 6 month period. But I don't remember having any bad dreams honestly this year, and I don't remember having any bad dreams. Like, I don't remember having a lot of bad dreams. Like, in the last like 3-4 years, I can't remember having bad dreams. I mean, I'll wake up feeling like crap, or I'll have trouble going to sleep. But once I start dreaming, like, it's usually I enjoy my dreams. I'm usually like thrilled. I'm like, oh, I hope I can remember my dreams. Like, usually I have really, I wouldn't call them vivid. The reason why they're hard to call vivid is because they don't make a lot of sense to me. But they're really like fantastical kind of dreams, like really kind of out there stuff. And I usually enjoy it. Like, when I wake up and I remember my dreams, and sometimes I write them down, I'm like, what the hell was that? So this one was different because it wasn't pleasant. And I don't know, like, I wouldn't say I'm not stressed, but the idea of going back into work and applying for jobs, like, I felt good about applying for jobs when I was doing it in April, but I wasn't applying for anything I actually wanted. This is a little bit different when I'm a little bit more invested in what I'm applying for, a little bit more invested in like studying and trying to take this exam, and like getting ready for the process of applications for jobs that I actually want, and interviewing and all that kind of stuff. That's a whole different thing than like applying for like gig jobs and stuff like that, where I'm just like, I could take it or leave it. Like, I don't really care. It's just the money, and it's just a little bit of money here and there. Like, I don't really care. But I don't know, maybe I'm worried about working. I have been kind of worried about my memory and focus for quite a bit now. So that's a whole thing to factor in, that like, I don't think it feels like the smoothest time to start working, but I don't think I want to wait until I feel fully ready. I want to do it a little bit before I'm like fully ready. Like, I feel good enough. Other than the last couple days, I've honestly been on an upswing for a while now. I don't know how long, but I've definitely noticed I've had a lot more good days than not. And that is rare, because it's been a dang season of having not bad times, but like rougher kind of situations. So I don't know, but I'm trying not to make something out of nothing. I'm trying not to you know, get negative about something or get myself in a lower mood or anything. Um, I'm kind of just trying to go through the process. I definitely notice with whatever's going on with myself lately, I definitely notice that I'm handling it better than I would have handled maybe a whole lot of other stuff. But maybe I am stressed because I am like a somatic stress type person. Like I completely like push things down and don't really, release things as much as I probably should, but also I don't know. It's really hard to be like, okay, like my mood actually feels a lot better than what I significantly remember not feeling too great, like being all grumpy and all this, like not that long ago. So lately my mood's been better on that end, but maybe I'm stressed because I'm actually pushing more, studying more. I've been out of the house a lot, every day. Not every day, since the last few days I haven't really, but the last couple of days I haven't really, but yeah, I've been out of the house for like hours almost every day for a while, going to the beach and all that kind of stuff. And so I really don't know. Like I'm a little uncertain about, what to expect and you know um but I don't know. Like I feel like it's a weird season for me. Not as in season like it's spring, but just like a weird time in my life. Like all this stuff that I'm kind of managing is a lot to shift at once. So I should probably acknowledge that it's not easy, but I do feel like I kind of find myself being like, oh, this is fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Like, things are going well. And maybe they are, but, maybe they're not. So it's kind of hard to really tell. Um, I don't really know. It is kind of a little different, for me having, different family members in the house. Having my dad in the house is weird. Um, it's not bad. It's just weird. It's like, I don't know. I'm just not too interested in involving myself too much with either parent. Really, I wasn't really here for all that. I was just here to kind of get things settled and then move on. I'm not really trying to like, have like daily family involvement and things like that. Like, especially since the history of our family interacting on a regular basis, once people start getting kind of tired of one another, it's like people are able to easily put on like a face, you know what I mean, and just play nice, but the energy hasn't always been good, in all honesty. Like this is probably as good as I've seen the energy, but I kind of also don't trust it, if that makes sense. I'm just kind of like, no, this doesn't seem like something that I'm gonna fully buy into because I know better, and I've dealt with so many situations with people and bullshit in the last few years with all those housemates and stuff. I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm not trying to let anybody get in my way or anybody kind of see that like I'm trying to get myself together and then them kind of I'm not talking about my parents specifically, but I'm just saying like I know that's how it goes sometimes too. When you try to get yourself together, other people see you doing it and then they're like, "Oh, you got your stuff together." Or, "Oh, you got a new job and you're making money, so can I have some?" Or like, "Oh, you got a new place and you moved into your new spot, can I move in with you?" Like stuff like that is kind of like, "Wait, what?" Like, no. And that's kind of how I've had to learn to be careful with that because it's like usually it's like right when I start getting things going for myself, then other people I notice start like attaching to try to like, you know, leech off of what I've got that has improved for me, and then they kind of try to suck my energy out. They're like, "Oh, you're stable now, like, so let's do this and let's do that," and like it's like, no, like, that's not really what I was trying to do. That's not part of my game plan. um so I don't know, like I've definitely noticed a lot of that, but um, I get skeptical, and I'm like, mm, I got to feel things out for a while and kind of recognize people's patterns more. Because I do have a lot of people in my life that kind of use people. It's like they don't talk to you till they need something, or they don't come around till they need something. And then they'll be nice and friendly, and it's like, well, where were you? Like, I was just trying to hang out some other times, or like interact, or like make some plans together, and we haven't seen each other for like years. And then all of a sudden you need something, and you're like, hey, like, can you help me with this? And it's like we don't really talk, like, so it's kind of like one of those things that it gets a little hard to kind of navigate sometimes. And I know a lot of the people in my life, not everybody, but there are quite a handful of people in my life that are very moochy. Um, that like they see that I'm doing something, and then they kind of try to come around and sniff around and see what's going on and see what they can benefit from it. And it's like, that's not how this is going this time, guys. So I do get a little skeptical even with family members when I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this and this is my plan. And then they'll be like, oh, so you'll be over here doing this as part of your plan. So let me kind of leech on and like get what I need out of you. It's like, that's not what this is going to be, like I'm doing what I need for myself. Like I'm not pushing people to the curb, but I'm also not buying into the whole energy drain, energy vampire type of people. Because that's something that, especially in times like this, people really want to play that role. They want to play that role financially. They want to play that role emotionally. They want to play that role psychologically, and I kind of don't want to buy into it. I'm not really in a headspace where I have energy for others. If somebody wanted that energy from me, they should have gotten it from me, sometime in 2022 or before. Like, this year's a different year for me. I already set it up so that things are supposed to be hopefully aligning as I had planned. I don't know though, but certain things like the potential for like needing car repairs and like the registration and all these other kinds of things, like I feel like it's more of a, okay, kind of kick in the high gear and like get all this stuff done, get it all paid for and all this kind of stuff. Like I'm not bitter. I'm not, I don't want it to sound like I'm like bitching and moaning about it too much, but I'm trying to be cautious. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently than what I was doing in the past, and make more efforts to kind of see things in a way that, I'm able to kind of observe things. And I've been trying to improve a lot in my life, and if I keep going back to old patterns of just letting any old body in, I'm going to have the same problems, because I am very easy to just kind of let people involve themselves in my life. And even with like sharing about like my daily life, my situations, I'm very careful with that. Like on this podcast, like, no, not so much, but I'm just talking like people that I see on a day to day. Like there's certain people that have that information, and then there's other people that I'm like, well, why should I be sharing with you about what I do all the time when you never share with me a thing about what you do with your day? Like I've lived in houses with people who, I'll hear them on the phone kind of like whispering around, or like, I'm not saying that they're snooping around or anything or doing anything wrong, but people have the right to have their own private conversations and stuff, but it's kind of like a little weird. It's like, okay, like you have your whole life that you live every day and you do your own thing, and you don't tell me what you're doing, you don't tell me what you're thinking about, you don't tell me what your plans are for the month, you don't have things that you're trying to have going on, you don't have all that kind of stuff that you're sharing with me. So why would I share with you my play-by-play kind of situation, or even sharing like the plans of like what I'm doing as far as like, you know, building up my income streams and all these other things. Like, it's not that I'm not building them up. I am building them up, but it's like I don't feel the need to talk about it with everybody. Because people are going to be like, oh, you're making money doing this, oh, you're making money doing that, you know, and like, I've even offered people to help me with some stuff. I'm like, hey, if you can do this or that, and it's not even hard stuff, I'm like, I'll pay you $20, I'll pay you 40, $50, you know, to do this thing. And it's like, well, if you don't want to help me with it, that's fine. But it's like, you know, and then they'll want me to like help them pay for something. And it's like, I just offered you a way that I'll give you money. Like, you just got to do this thing. It would take them maybe 20 minutes, and I would give them probably like 40, $50, and they don't want to do it. So I'm kind of just like, no, you know, like, I'm not going to let you borrow money or give you money. It's like, you know, it's simple stuff. It's like, man, like, it's like simple tasks, you know, that would help me to kind of reach some of my goals. But also it's like, you know, I would be able to pay them for helping me with something. Something as simple as like, hey, can you like tell me 5 people that I can text a referral link to, even if they're not going to buy it, or even if they're not going to use the service or whatever. Like, can you just give me some numbers, or give me some, you know, something as simple. I'm not saying that was a specific thing, but it's like, it'll be stuff like that where I'm like, can you just help me out with something as simple as that, where it's like, how hard is it, you know? And it, you know, I'm not saying that I'm spamming people. I'm just saying, like, it would be something equivalent as something that inconvenient, you know. It's not something super hard, you know. It's not, I'm not trying to like get people in a pyramid scheme or anything weird like that, but it's like, you know, I'm not, like, I've asked people to kind of help with little things. If they ask me for money, I'm like, oh, well, if you need money, I've got money if you can do this thing. And then like, if they don't want to do it, I'm like, you really don't want the money. I'm not gonna just be giving people money like that, especially because I know they're not gonna pay me back. So I'd rather get a service that's gonna help me with some of my income stream situations, like the task I have to do to kind of get those income streams to keep building them. Because I've got the income streams now, it's just building it. And so I'm building them. A lot of it's built, a lot of it is I'm still slowly scaling. But it's a lot because it's me. I'm one person. I'm doing these things by myself. You know, I do these podcasts. I got like 4 podcasts. I do these, you know, I've got this online store. I do these like gigs on the side, you know, that kind of stuff. And there's other stuff too, but those are the things that I'm more consistent with. Like, those 3 things I'm a lot more consistent with. And that's a lot for one person to be trying to do stuff every day like that. And so it's like, you know, I mean, I've asked people, you know, I'll pay you if you give me podcast ideas, you know, and it's like, it's not that hard. Just like throw some words out there and I'll see if I want to. It doesn't mean that it's something that I have to accept and say that I want to actually record about it, but it's like, just get my gears turning, you know, like, give me some thought-provoking content that you find interesting. Because if you find it interesting, there's probably other people that find it interesting too. But I do find that, you know, podcasting is a little hard, being like on the isolated end. I don't think I try to use too much of my social life to just provide content. Like, a little bit of it. I try to use themes more so than like actual personal interactions. But then there are definitely some patterns and themes in my life that are more kind of impacting than others. Like, when it comes to like family stuff and health stuff and those types of things, it's like, it's definitely more impacting than just like nothing going on at all. You know, like, even when nothing's going on at all, I mean, like, it's, you know, there's still stuff that might still come up, like, from the past, or just like things being different now. And it's kind of like, I believe people can change. I believe it, but I gotta wait a while to see if they actually do. I'm not just gonna assume, oh, you're changed because you seem like you've changed, you know. But it's like, nah, I know better. I know better now, like I think, I went into the world pretty naive when I moved down to San Diego and, made some maybe not the best sociable decisions because, um, partially because I was like, well, I can tolerate it. So I partially just put up with it just because I was like, well, I can, and then another reason why was because, financially it helped me save a buck. So I put up with a lot of BS for those reasons too. I put up with a lot of BS because of, having some trouble with boundaries sometimes. I don't think I do anymore, but I think, I did kind of let people um, do what they like. I would prioritize other people's needs and desires over my own and then not get my own needs met or my own desires met. It could be something as simple as, you know, somebody who it's like I can only meet them on their time, for example. So maybe somebody that I would consider a friend, but it's like, they only want to hang out when they're available. Not, I mean, that's not it. I'm not saying that people have to hang out when they're not available. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like a give and take. It was more like a take, like they were taking. It's like, oh, they need somebody to talk to, so let's hang out. Versus like, let's just hang out because I want to hang out, or let's just go get tickets to this thing or do something fun. And it didn't have to be like excessive or something like that, but it's like, oh, when they have drama in their life, they want to hang out and talk about it. But otherwise, I don't hear from this person. And like, yeah, we would catch up at those times, but it's like, we would never really like interact on a regular basis. Or like, if I try to message them or try to call them on the phone, like they're never available, or they never want to talk by phone, or they never just want to casually hang out and like have fun. It was more like they want to vent, and then we would catch up after they were done venting. But it's kind of like stuff like that it's kind of like, when I look back on it, I'm like, that's not too healthy, but, also, I'm kind of like, that's why I was working in psychology too, is because like naturally I gravitate towards like, using compassion. Like that's something that I like doing. And so, it's kind of easy to want to be compassionate towards people, but then I notice people kind of see that sometimes and they would be like, okay, like, well, if I need compassion, I'll go to you. And it's like, well, no. Like, sometimes I just want to hang out, I don't want to be, like, I can't be a therapist to everybody. I can only be a therapist to my clients. Like, I can't be, like that. So it's kind of like, I like having like therapeutic type relationships with people. Not like I'm doing therapy, but just like I like healthy relationships with people, like where people, there might be even some form of healing just in the form of interaction, where it's like we have healthy interactions, therefore it's healing. Like that's what I mean by therapeutic. I don't mean like therapeutic like we're sitting doing therapy on each other, nothing like that. But that's not even legal. But and I have no desire to do that. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that I would say is just one example of things that, or if somebody was getting on my nerves, I wouldn't confront them about it, or say anything about it, and I would just kind of let them keep doing stuff. I think the last thing I was venting about, as far as like things that might bother me, is like when I get tickets with friends to stuff and they just kind of blow it off, and it's like, or they're like impossible to plan with, and for me it's like, it's kind of like disrespectful, to me. I don't see it as respectful when it's like, events cost a lot of money, and then having somebody like beg me to buy tickets, even though I want to go, but it's like they beg to buy tickets, and so, they're kind of like pressuring, trying to rush me to get tickets, and I get them, and then this is months in advance, and then finally the event's approaching, and people keep asking and asking, are you coming, are you coming? It's like, yeah, like, I always make it, I'm gonna make it, like, don't worry about that. And then, I make it, and then the day of, like, the people aren't able to be contacted, or, the plans have changed and now there's like these other people involved, and it's like I didn't know that, this is what was happening. Like, nobody informed me that this is what we're doing, and that kind of stuff. Like, it's kind of hard for me to be patient with, if I spend like $200-300 on a ticket and then, go all the way out of town and, get a hotel, and it's like a 2-day concert, and I'm like, spending all this money on transportation, hotels, tickets, food, all this kind of stuff, and people can't even like say when we're gonna meet, or like plan like when we're gonna go and all. It's like, dude, like, disrespectful. Like, I do have friends that are just easy, like, okay, what time do you want to meet, let's get there at this time, and then we actually stay and like enjoy the event. Versus like maybe not even going to the event or whatever. And it's like, really? Or not even wanting to be there, and it's like, or be there for the whole thing or whatever, like stuff like that, where I'm just like, like, when I'm at an event, I want to think about the event, and be at the event. I don't want to be thinking about like contacting people and like, oh, we're like overlapping like different times, like I'll be there 6 hours later, and now I have to be checking my phone. And like, I mean, I get it, people have their lives, people have their stuff going on, but it's like, I just prefer to just be like, if we have tickets, let's meet at a certain time, and then we just go enjoy this concert together. It shouldn't have to be more than that. But I feel like sometimes it's like people want to make it complicated, and they want to be like doing all this other stuff. It's like, oh, let's go clubbing instead, let's go do this instead, and like, we can have like brunch or lunch or dinner, and it's like, no, like, it's during the concert. Like, I will be at the concert, like, like, and, there's a certain point where I was like, I bought these tickets. These are my freaking tickets. I'm going to go to this freaking concert and go do what I'm going to do and meet with the people I want to hang out with. And, the others that seem like they want to just do something else, they can go do something else, like I just had to kind of get in that mindset and do that. And that's not the first time, but it's like, I kind of learned like which people are easy to plan with, and if I'm going to spend a lot of money on stuff, I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it. And then some other people, I just don't like planning with them. And especially if it's going to cost a lot of money, I don't want to plan with them because they don't really plan properly. And then they start changing the plans in the middle of the plans. It used to happen with snowboarding to a point that I don't even invite people anymore. Like, I just go by myself. I'm like, I don't even care. Like people would be like, oh, we're going to meet at like, LA traffic or whatever. They would be like, I used to go in the evenings. We would go at night. We would nightboard from like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. or something like that at night. And then like, so we'd have to leave at like 2 or 3 in LA to like drive through all that traffic. And if you want to get there by 5, you probably have to leave closer to 2. If you want to get there around, like, it didn't matter if we got there after 5, because, we'd still have like 3-4 hours. That was plenty, because back then it was like $20-$25. But I remember back then going, getting people, getting people kind of like, together, or, saying we're going to meet at 2 or 3 or leave at 2 or 3, and then people don't have their gear. They're like, oh, I need to go shopping and buy all this stuff. And it's like, dude, like, now we're not leaving at 2, we're leaving at 4. And that means we're going to sit in traffic the whole way through and probably not get there till 7 or later. And, things like that, where it's like, it cuts in. And then maybe if we get there, say we get there at 7, we're hitting the slopes at like 7:30, and then they want to leave after like 30 minutes. And it's like, dude, we said we were going to be here till 10 p.m. Like, stuff like that. That's just like, I've dealt with so much stuff like that it's just like, I eventually had to realize I'm just doing what I'm going to do. And I know it sounds selfish, but at the same time, it's like, because I do regularly try to like interact with people and like incorporate people into events that I'm going to, I feel like there are quite a few events I can just do by myself and not have to worry about other people interfering. Like, I'm really excited about this concert I'm going to this coming weekend, Sick New World Fest. I'm really excited to get out of town. I'm not really excited to leave like a beach city of LA in the nice perfect weather and go to like the heat in Vegas, but I'm really excited to just kind of go do something else, you know? And like I've been kind of cooped up in this area for like pretty much all of April, all of what has been most of May. It's going to be like almost mid-May when I'm finally leaving the city for a little bit, and it's only going to be from Friday to Monday. Um, Meaning I'm only really gonna be there Saturday, Sunday, um, and flying days on Friday, Saturday. But um, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna get to see a lot of bands that I like. I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. And the thing that's the coolest about it is that I'm not coordinating with anybody, Like I have friends in the area, but they're not going to the concert. So I will be there rocking out by myself. I don't really care. Like usually when I'm at concerts, I meet people there anyways or just have a good time. Like I'm there for the music. I'm there to see the bands that I grew up watching and have been wanting to see. I want to see Alien Ant Farm. That's not the first on my list is Coal Chamber. Strangely enough, they're the first on my list. They're the first group that I want to see, and they're finally like the festival's finally dropping the set times tomorrow on Tuesday. Finally, and so it's like, dang, they took long enough. But yeah, so I'll be able to plan accordingly. I want to see Coal Chamber. I want to see Incubus. I want to see Alien Ant Farm. I want to see System of a Down. I want to see Korn. I've seen Turnstile already. I don't know if I really care to see Evanescence, but I mean, just because it would be cool to see them just because I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to see them any other time, to be honest. I really don't care for them on that level, but sometimes live music is just live music, and I feel like because there's going to be so many artists, because there's going to be so many artists and probably there's got to be multiple stages for all these artists. They're basically gonna have to like there's gonna be stuff that I'm probably gonna have to miss, unfortunately, and then they're probably gonna have to excuse me, I'm finishing this water. They're probably gonna have to. I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over. I lost my train of thought. There's gonna be overlap. And I'm probably not going to get to see everybody, but there's groups that I kind of want to see that I feel like just because they're going to be there, I want to see them. But I wouldn't go out of my way. Like some of these bands like Evanescence, Hoobastank, I probably wouldn't go out of my way to buy tickets just to see those groups. Kitty, I like Kitty though, but I probably wouldn't, unless it was like really convenient, I probably wouldn't go out of my way, honestly. Ministry, I like Ministry too, but I probably wouldn't go out of my way for like a full concert. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like they're probably just gonna play like hits because the sets are probably gonna be pretty short for most of the smaller groups. I've already seen Soulfly. They were really good. I saw them headlining at freaking, where the hell was I? I saw them headlining at Brick by Brick. That was a long time ago though. It was during the Rona though. So yeah, I've seen Deftones already. I want to see them again. I said already I saw Turnstile. I wouldn't mind seeing them again, but the ones I've seen I might put on the back burner because I've seen them. So that would be like Turnstile, Soulfly, POD. I saw, but this was like over 10 years ago. I like their music live. Like I like the bass in their music. It is freaking crazy. Um, I saw them from the back of the stage at some like where the hell some Christian what's that thing Harvest Crusade or whatever they do at Angel Stadium every like year. I think this last year it was in November, but I don't know if it's always in November. But I used to have a youth like a teen church group and then a collegiate church group. I can't remember. I think I was in my college years when I saw POD, but it was at that festival, and a lot of people hated them because they were too heavy for them, and they wanted to hear like praise music, and I was just like, I loved it. I was like, I love POD. I was into it, but it just sucked to be there sitting in like stadium, like Angel Stadium chair seats, and we were like behind the stage, so I heard it live, but I had to see it from the screen, so that was kind of a bummer. So I kind of want to check out and see how they are. Um, Kitty, my mom introduced me to Kitty. I've always loved them. They rock hard. So I want to like check them out because I don't think I'm ever gonna see them otherwise. Seven Dust, I've loved Seven Dust since high school. I'd love to see them live. They're another group that I never went too far into, knowing way too much about, but I really want to see them. Alien Ant Farm, I liked them when they first came out. I didn't follow them too much after like their MTV days. But I mean, if they're playing their hits, they have some fun hits. I like that song, that Smooth Criminal remix that they did, or that Michael Jackson remix that they did, and I like that song Attitude. Those are the only songs I know by them off the top of my head, but I'd love to hear that song live. Soulfly I loved, but I could do without seeing them again. But I saw them like in the last few years. And I saw them like right up close. I was like right up, like I don't know, Brick by Brick is so small, and it's a really small venue, and I was like up real close to Ministry. I would love to see them. I don't know them too much. I think I got into them when that movie AI came out way back in the day, way back, because they had a song in that movie, Just One Fix. I don't know how old that song actually is, but that's when I first heard that song and when I got into them. But back then it was really hard to find that song. So Ministry, I would like to see them live. I would love to hear them play that song, but I don't really know too much of their other songs off the top of my head. Papa Roach, I definitely want to see. Oh man, when that Infest album came out, I remember that's when I really got into Schecter guitars because of Jerry Horton, and I remember some Guitar World magazines back then that had his some Papa Roach songs that I kept the magazines. I don't think I still have them, but I kept them way back then because it had the sheet music, and I don't think I ever learned. I don't know. At one point, I knew multiple songs off that Infest album though, like how to play them on guitar, but I haven't played lately. But they're good songs. Turnstile I really liked. They have a song that I really love, but I can't remember the name of it. I like their energy. But I only got introduced to them when I saw AFI for the first time, and they were one of the opening bands at the Wiltern. I don't know when this was. Probably like 2019 or 2020 or something. I don't know when it was, honestly. It was a long time ago. It wasn't a long time ago, but it was long enough ago that I can't remember if it was during the pandemic, because I just saw them. This last show that they did at the Forum, I just saw them. And so I don't really know when they played before. It was probably 2019 or 2021. I can't remember. Chevelle, I'm gonna try to see Chevelle though. So those are the groups I'm gonna try to see. Um, I mean, I'm definitely gonna walk around. Oh, Orgy too, Orgy and Cradle of Filth. Um, I would love to see Orgy live. And yeah, Cradle of Filth too. I don't know Cradle of Filth too well, but they come up. They used to come up a lot on stuff I used to play. So I'm pretty sure I probably recognize some of the songs, but I can't name anything off the top of my head. And Orgy, I like their stuff from like back in the day. Um, so those are most of the groups I want to see, but I'm kind of down for all of it. Like, there's a lot of groups on this in this concert that I really want to see, but I just hope I'm not going to have to sacrifice seeing some of the bigger ones I want to see. But I already know which ones I want to prioritize. So if I have to avoid seeing some of these other ones, I'll probably avoid them. And also because of the heat, I don't really know what it's gonna be like. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be dancing around, and I don't really know. I'll probably just be solidly rocking out in the back by myself. I don't even care. Like, I plan to have a good time. I'll probably be dancing around, but I don't know if I'll get in the pit. It just sounds like a lot because the weather's going to be over 90 degrees. There's always high wind. It's always dusty. And so it's going to be really sweaty, really hot, really uncomfortable. And, you know, I'm going to be coming off of like a little bit of a stressful week with all this stuff going on at the beginning of this week. So with this cold or whatever the heck it is. So I don't know, but yeah, it seems like it's gonna be fun. I'll be shocked if it's not fun. And they allow re-entry, and so depending on what's actually going on, I might leave and come back, but I don't really have anywhere I want to go. I kind of just want to go to this concert, but if my friend maybe wants to have lunch in the middle or something, I might be able to come do that. I don't really know though. I don't know what the lines are gonna look like. It did sell out. Tickets sold out. The only tickets, so general admission sold out. General admission plus sold out. VIP sold out. VIP Cabana doesn't say, but the other ones were waitlisted. And then there's hotel and ticket packages starting at $489. There's a fee that's like 80 something bucks. There's a freaking 80 something dollar service fee, or 60 something, 80 or 60 something dollar service fee. And then I think for these hotels, when I last looked, I think you have to have like 4 people or something. Like, it's pretty excessive. It's like, I think it's like two days or 2 nights. Friday night. So it goes Friday to Sunday, and hotels allow 1 to 4 people. But I think for those 2 whole nights, it's specific hotels, and I think they charge you for as if you had like 4 people. So they charge you as if you'd be splitting it between 4 people. So it's not like you're paying like 50 to 150 a night per room. You're paying like 1,000 something, plus this ticket that's over $500. It's almost a $600 ticket. So that is excessive to me. Like, I was like, if I'm doing this by myself, I'm not doing all that, like, I don't need like an open bar and a nightclub and all this other stuff. Like, like I'm not there for that. Like, it sounds cool though. If I was going with more people, that would be kind of fun, but I'm not, so I don't really care. But all right, so this is my lengthy rant. We'll call it the daily episode for May 9th, for May 8th. Did I say 9th earlier? For May 8th of 2023, Monday. I got one individual episode to record, and then I'm gonna snack. It's gonna be almost 9. It's gonna be after 9 p.m., but I'm way off. My schedule's so off. I don't even care at this point. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.